In studio with the man who won a couple Lombardis on the shoulders of a heck of a defense. Talk to me about this unit right now. They were flying around with reckless abandon, putting one of the most potent offensive talent groups, really just putting the clamps on them for 60 minutes of football here, especially in that second half. How impressed are you right now by the sustained effort of the Jets in the face of everything this team has faced?
Extremely super impressed, right? And the reason why, when you talk about going against the Philadelphia Eagles offense, it seemed like over the last few weeks, they were getting things together. The rhythm, the chemistry, running the football. Jalen Hurts was taking more shots down the football field, becoming more an aggressive thrower, to say the least. So you felt like this was an opportunity, knowing you're going against a competitive defense, but will the Jets be able to sustain production against Jalen Hurts and the offense from the Eagles for 4 quarters, knowing that they probably would not get a lot of help from Zach Wilson and their offense? Guess what? They were able to do so. We saw an energized group, and the most impressive thing I saw was the physical nature they played with. Guys are flying around. I love watching defenders play on the defensive side, and when I'm watching with Joe and we got our monitors in front of us, I feel the hits. You know, when you see someone laying that Rydell on an opposing offensive player, you feel it. I felt a lot of tackling today from the Jets. C.J. Mosley and crew, everybody, they made a big-time adjustment from the first half to the second half, and, man, it paid off big time. And I can tell you this much. They made Jalen Hurts look like a rookie today. They made him look like this was his first time starting. And that's saying a lot, because we know what type of passer, what type of quarterback Jalen Hurts is. The way they flew around, man, the pass rush, the guys on the second level, the third level, made plays. And this was a defining moment right here, because this set up a game-winning touchdown for the Jets. And Jalen Hurts just did not see the football field. It's 2 defenders right there surrounding Dallas Goedert. Go someplace else with the football. But you know what? When the pocket is collapsing for 4 quarters, you get rattled.
Yeah.
You get rattled, you get happy feet, and you try to get the football out of your hand, clearly when you're not ready to let it go.
I want to go a little further here on Jalen Hurts, because this is an offense that we've criticized for some of its inefficiencies early in the season. Wasn't an issue because we were criticizing within wins, but here you're exposed for some of those inefficiencies. Jalen Hurts late on that throw, pocket relatively clean to what he saw throughout the rest of the day. Is this a guy who maybe trusts his arm more than he should? Is this a team feeling itself maybe more than it should? Where do you pinpoint some of the issues right now with Philadelphia, specifically on that offensive side?
Today, they couldn't run the football, right? Since, you know, acquiring DeAndre Swift.
Such an asset to that team, and it was really the reason they were winning games in the midst of that first stretch.
If you go back to last year's success for the Eagles, they were one of the more balanced offenses in the National Football League, leading in the tops of the league in rushing, and then, of course, throwing the football. They were very, very efficient as well. In today's matchup, DeAndre Swift had 10 carries for 18 yards. Now, he did have a receiving touchdown, but outside of that, 10 carries for 18 yards. That's the total opposite in regards to production from what we've seen from DeAndre in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform. Actually, Jalen Hurts led the team in rushing today. That's not a bright sign when you talk about being on the road, playing against the type of defense they faced off today. And that put more pressure on Jalen Hurts. So to answer your question, that's what I saw, the lack of balance. They became predictable. You talk about throwing the ball for almost 50 attempts, 45 attempts, and they led basically the entire way until the latter part of the 4th quarter. They couldn't run the football, so they became predictable. And when you're telling the New York Jets, with all the dudes they have on that defensive side, that you're throwing the football, good luck in trying to be successful.
I want to talk about omissions on both sides, because no Sauce Gardner in this one, and still they come away with the win.
No Sauce Gardner, no DJ Reed. Both starting cornerbacks were not in action for the Jets. You couldn't tell.
Important to your prior point, though. No Lane Johnson on that offensive line, knocked out of this game with injury, so maybe that is where you can source the rushing issues in this game. But there are greater issues for the Eagles right now. I don't think this moment is about the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a good football team. They're going to be a good football team. This moment is about the Jets, the New York Jets, a 3-3 football team who got 4 plays out of Aaron Rodgers. How do you make sense of where they're at right now? And maybe, again, we've been tipping hats at coaches this hour. Maybe we tip the hat at Robert Saleh for the job he's done, keeping everybody bought in.
A great job, and keeping the guys motivated, because it does something for the morale, especially if you're a part of the Jets organization as a player, as a front office official, or as a fan.
Anybody.
Because you got punched in the gut when Aaron Rodgers went down within 4 plays. And we know how painful getting punched in the gut could be. It knocks all the wind out of you. But you still feel a little excitement. You still feel like there's hope, there's a chance. And that's coming from your head coach and Salah and the rest of the guys and just the players buying in and being motivated. Today, they fought. They came into this matchup. It looked like they believed they can win.
Yeah.
And they played that way for 4 quarters. They beat up Zach Wilson. And I can tell you this much, Zach Wilson has improved as a professional quarterback.
Certainly.
They beat him up. He stood, he fought, he kept coming. And guess what? He protected the football. Pretty smart football. No interceptions. They sacked him 5 times, and they hit him probably another 19. But did you see any questionable passes? No. He actually played better than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So that's something to build upon. And I can tell you this much. Every time they win, Aaron Rodgers' Achilles feel better. It feels better. It gets a little better. With every win, well, he's feeling real good.
Every day is one day closer to who knows what.
3-3.
We did enter this day with 2 undefeated teams. Both of those teams held double-digit leads in their away games. Neither of them won.
On the road.
Everybody's got at least 1 loss, and we roll on.
The 72 Dolphins can feel real good right now.
Pop some champagne.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Jets fan, too. All right, here's a look at the best records in the NFL this season.
Traffic jam.
5-1 is the high water mark. Philadelphia, San Francisco, Detroit, Miami, and KC. If this is an SAT test, B-Mac, what doesn't fit? I think they all fit.
Oh, it's a traffic jam of light teams. Who you picking?
A lot of
Who you
talent
feel good
across
about?
that board. I don't know. Give me the 2 teams with red.
Okay.